Hello! Welcome to the Colourful Creativity podcast. My name is Carolien and this is episode 69. You can find me online everywhere as Carolien, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Ravelry, the works. And I have an Etsy shop which is carolien.etsy.com or colourfulcreativity.nl. And there is a Ravelry group for the podcast, which is the Colourful Creativity group, and you can find it in the group section on Ravelry. If you hear things, the cats are roaming around, so that's said first. Binks found a little fluff and he has to eat that. He is like a vacuum cleaner, so I'm pretty sure he'll show up in the podcast somewhere because he's very interested in me at the moment. First, welcome everyone. Welcome back to all returning viewers. I'm happy you like it here and stick around. And welcome to all new viewers. I hope you like it here. Subscribe down below so you'll be notified when there is a new episode live. So, I hope you are all doing well. See, here's the little mister. He's sitting next to me. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see a photo of the setup that I'm in at the moment. I have a huge box of yarn next to me, undyed yarn, which I still have to dye for Das Bunte Schaf, which is near Cologne in Langenfeld in Germany, on the 9th of September. So I have about 4 weeks left for that, and I'm pretty well on schedule, so I'm gonna make it probably. And if not, I'm still gonna be there, but with a little bit less yarn. We'll see how far I get. I also have to make beads, but in the current heat waves, it's not possible to make any beads. For those of you who don't know, I'm a glass bead maker. That's how I started my company. Which means I melt glass on a torch. And the torch is about 1500 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's too hot. Also, I need a kiln on, and that kiln is going to 500 degrees Celsius. So, kiln in the back, torch in the front, and on my attic where the sun is blazing on the roof. So it's already 40 degrees up there without me torching. So I'm waiting for some cooler days to finally be able to make some beads again. Hopefully the end of the week, and next week will be bead making week. Fingers crossed for that. So, but what we're all here for, of course, is knitting and yarn and everything else around that. So I am starting with a very small sneak peek of a secret test knit I did again. I'll start with the yarn. I did a test knit of a fingerless mitten for Paper Daisy Creations, Lisa K. Ross, and this is the yarn I used. It is a semi-solid dark gray, and this is my colorful version of the Tits Out collective yarn. So if I want exposure, I'll get my tits out. It is the whole name. If you hear something, Leia is eating. Her food is next to me. This is like the cool spot in the house. And the only spot with light. So still not back in my usual space. So these two together are actually amazing. And you know me, I'm not a big gray lover. But yeah, I really like it. So I'm gonna be quick. I turned it inside out. It is a fingerless mitten. And this is how it looks, and it's gone. I will be able to show it at Das Bunte Schaf. The pattern will be coming out beginning of September. So together with the beautiful shawl I tested for her. So fingers crossed I will be able to make an episode before that, and I can show you all the samples I knit. Because I am knitting like crazy on samples at the moment. I think there's only one project today. No, 2 projects today. That's not my yarn. And there's something in my eye. Very unhandy. Yeah. First up, in a little grey girl cat project bag is a sock for my husband in patent scry socks. The colorway is grey brown marl, and this is my go-to project to take outside for waiting rooms, etc. Last time I showed you I was at the marker. I haven't been going outside for a lot. I didn't have a lot of waiting rooms to knit in, and which is positive, of course. But this sock is not growing a lot. This is a month progress. So yeah, it's actually a bit thicker yarn. I'm knitting this on 2.75mm higher sharps, and it's warm. It just feels warm in your hands. So this one is on the back burner for a few weeks probably, or maybe when they say Friday we're gonna get like 21 degrees Celsius. For instance, today it's gonna be 38 degrees Celsius, and I'm really looking forward to Friday. We're going to a monkey zoo in the Netherlands with friends and our god kids. And yeah, maybe I can take that one with me because it's easy, mindless, round and round knitting. But I might have other projects for that as well. So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna take. Next up is the other project I have. That's not my yarn. Well, the yarn is mine, but it's not Colourful Creativity yarn. In my Knitting Goddess for the Tits Out collective bag is something I wanted to try out. This is a cotton stretch yarn by Crazy with an S, and it's a yarn I'm testing. I got it from the big wholesaler to see if I like to add it to my yarn range. I always have a few commercial sock yarns in my store, or at least for sale at knit nights, etc. And only the things that I think of, like, that's interesting stuff. Like opal with rainbows is always interesting stuff. And these come in like really nice rainbows, but more partial rainbows. So like the yellow, orange, pink, and this is the green blue one I got. And the contents is 41% cotton, 39% wool, 13% polyamide, and 7% polyester. So this is really stretchy, and it has cotton, which makes it nice to knit in summer heat waves. So I did want to test how it knits up, so then you have to knit a sock with it. I am keeping this project in my undercover otter needle nest because I'm knitting on DPNs again. Yeah, I am. I am knitting a Rose City roller because, well, summer socks. I have knit 20 rows of cuff and I have started the heel flap. It's not really interesting. I'm knitting these on 2.25mm Xiaogu DPNs, and with that I'm also showing you a new acquisition. This is what I got myself. A beautiful case with a full set of sock knitting DPNs, and even a little bit bigger, ranging from 2.0mm to 3.25, and all the quarters in between, so 6 sizes, so 0 to 3 for US. And yeah, I love these. You know, I was enthusiastic about Xiaogu DPNs when I started that tester sock, and well, I'm really happy I got this one. And good thing about this is I got more of these and I put them in my shop. So if you want a set, go grab some. And yeah, I also have all the Haya sets back in stock. Sharp steel and bamboo, interchangeable sets in the small sizes. So that means it starts at 2.75 and I think and goes up to 4.5 or 5 millimeter. But that's other stuff. This yarn, so far, it really is stretchy. I hope you can see that. How far my hands move apart while holding the yarn. I wonder how it wears. I didn't go up in my stitches. I went with 64 stitches on 2.25 millimeter needles. I might have should have gone up 4 stitches for 68, but I'll see. In the end, if it's necessary, I'll just rip them, or I'll give them away, or I will keep it as a sample sock and make it a short one on the foot that doesn't fit me. I don't mind. This is just getting a feel for the yarn. So, and if you're interested in cotton blends for commercial sock yarn, let me know if I should add this to my shop. I mean, I can add it, but my customers have to buy it. And I know not all of you are customers, and that's totally fine. I totally understand that, but just to put it up there. Then we're gonna dive in the colorful the colorful yarn, Colourful Creativity yarn projects. In my Chatty Cats Creations project bag is a sock. I'd say what else when this is on the project bag, the department of making socks. Of course it has a sock. Dragon fruit on Colourful sock. It's extra white yarn, so the parts that are white are more white than natural. And I am knitting a speckled space sock. I did the first repeat and started the second. I put it away because I didn't like it, and I picked it back up, and I don't understand why I didn't like it, because it's a really nice sock. Here it is, the pattern. And the full sock will be like that. And there's the name, Speckled Space Socks by Amanda B. Stevens. And I really love how it knits up. I'm knitting them on 2.5 millimeter needles and 64 stitches, my go-to. And the stitch marker is by Lonnie. I will put a link in the show notes. It's a beaded stitch marker, like those really tiny seed beads that are made into a big bead. I'm still amazed how she does that. I know my mom did a lot of beadwork like that. She even made me a hairpin with a crocodile on it, and it's broken, unfortunately, but the time consuming stuff like that is not my idea of fun. I know I'm a detailed worker, but that is just a skill I don't own. So next up, let's go for this one, a Little Grey Girls unicorn bag. In here I have 2 very fluffy cakes. This is Colourful Soft Sock in the colorway Quirky Rainbow, and these are 2 50-gram balls because I wanted to do an experiment. Now I have DPNs. I want to know what my gauge difference is with Magic Loop. So in this Craftfulness Needle Cozy, I have actually 2 socks. One on my go-to, or my go-to DPNs by Xiaogu, and one on my even more go-to 2.5 millimeter high sharp needle, my circular. And as you can see, I just have 2 cuffs now, and I am awaiting a pattern for it. This is going to be a test knit for Regina of the Herbstblad Regina podcast and Herbstblad Regina yarn. And yeah, I wanted to have a head start because I was afraid I wouldn't make it to have one sock finished before Das Boot Shawl otherwise. With all the other sample knits I am doing. I actually asked Lisa of Paper Daisy Creations today, after she earburned me, when the pattern is to be launched, so I could see if I could squeeze in another test knit. I really like test knitting, apparently. Especially when you need to do socks or mittens and you only have to do one to test it, because that's perfect sample material. And nice and small in a heat wave. So this one is waiting for the pattern, and we'll see when that happens. I'm ready, and I know I can knit a sock in 3 days if I want to. So I'll be fine. Then we're going for bigger projects, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be fine with those. In my teacup bag is the Cosmic Dandy Shawl. Again, black and white photos. Here you can see it a little bit. This one is by Julie Knits in Paris. I really like it, but it has mohair. And if you have a little bit sticky hands from heat, yeah, this is not my favorite yarn to knit with, but I have done some, and I'm over halfway of the knit on vertical stripes border. So you have horizontal stripes on this side, and then you get a full border with vertical stripes. And actually, probably, if I finish that vertical stripe border, I could just leave it like that and show it and finish other things first before I add on the brioche border. But yeah, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. This is the yarn I'm using, and the color is so much brighter in person. Oh well. This is a Colourful Smooth sock in a purple colorway that I still have to make. This is not how it's gonna be in the end. It's just a bit too boring. I have to spice it up a bit. Then the colorful version of If I Want Exposure, I'll Get My Tits Out. This is also on smooth sock, and this is Cosmic Purple on Colourful Kid Silk. So fluffy stuff at the moment. I am really enjoying this combination. Yes, I'm saying that again. Pink and purple, and I love it. And I know it's not fully my color, especially not on camera. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see my face turning a little bit white and pale when I put this in front of me. So yeah, it's not my color. It's too cool, and I'm a warm color person. But still, I really love it. And if I'm gonna use it as a sample, I better love looking at it. So, knitting these on, what is it, 4mm high sharp interchangeables. And really hoping to finish this when it is a bit cooler. Back in its project bag. I'm racing through because I have so much things to show and tell. It's ridiculous. All About Yarn Exploding TARDIS project bag. Some UK remnants from my first trip to the UK. In here is the Artemis shawl. by Madeleine Windsor. That's the best photo I have. Kingfisher knits everywhere. This is how the shawl looks in black and white. Not very interesting, but I can show you in color. Way better, right? So this is knit with Colourful Smooth Sock with a dark grey semi-solid main color and 5 contrasting color minis, which I absolutely think of as summer sorbet colors. I don't know about you, but I really love that. The dark grey is called Stealing Thunder, and then we have these 5. I know this is raspberry sorbet probably. This is orange, I think. No. Sunglasses, please. Highlighter, Mighty Minty, and Blue Eyes, something. Bright blue. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. They are all in my web shop, but yeah, this is how they look together. I really like that combination, and it does remind me instantly when I see these 3. I think I want ice cream now. Raspberry, lemon and orange, please. And these 2 just combine it to a wonderful rainbow. This is knitted on a 4mm needle as well. Also a higher sharp, not interchangeable. And this is going really slow. I picked it up this week. My progress is, let's see, 3 lace sections, 3 stripes, and the first bit of the next section. This is only 24% of the shawl done, so my progress is not really good on this one. I'm not sure if I can finish it, and I'm probably going to focus on the Cosmic Dandy first and then this one. But hoping to finish this one for Cardiff then, at least. Then, oh, we have done a lot of stuff, people. And I see that I even forgot to get something. Oh well. The True to Fleece is finished, but I'm not. I've been spinning even more. This is the fiber I already showed you last time, and I am on the second bobbin. I split it up into 50 grams because I wanted to see if by spinning more my my yarn would change a little, so it would be thinner, more consistent, etc. So the second bobbin, if it would differ on the first one. The big ball is out, and I made all these little fuzzlings, and I try to spin at least 1 fuzzling a day. And then I have finished another spinning project, and I'm going to get that. This is what I made of the yarn, or the single that you saw on the bobbin last time. This is a 3-ply, and yeah, I can untwist the skein a little so you can maybe see it better, but it goes from the green to the pink orangey stuff, and again to the green blue. So this is a big stripe to say. I have no clue what to make with it yet. This is a sport weight-ish yarn, and I might make it into mittens or something. Just it will felt because it's non-superwash, and I think mittens would be perfect for that, because if they felt a little, they are a bit warmer. But I will have to see. I think I have never knit with hand spun before, so I always like to look at it and then leave it and look at it. That's just how it is. And I want it nice and neat skein. Yeah, what can I say? It was a Dutch Wool Diva bed of fiber, and it turned out beautiful, I think. Then, that was all the projects I've been working on. I guess after almost half an hour, that's enough. Now, onto all the stuff that came in. And I can tell you, it's a lot. A whole lot. Really, a whole lot. I wanted to see if some soft yarn was nice. So I bought 2 packages, mostly because I really like the colors in this one. I am interested in getting them for the shop, or at least some colors of it. This is a normal soft yarn with 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide. It's from Germany, and they make perfect soft yarn. This color family is called the Familie Huber, so Huber family. I really like this one, so I'm gonna knit that. But then I also discovered they have a family called Müller. Yeah, you know, my name is Müller, or my husband's family name is Müller, so I couldn't believe that. I'm not a huge fan of the colors though. I mean, there's a blue-green, that's okay, but then there's gray and black and gray and dark gray, and this one also a little bit meh, but at least I can give this to my mom and she'll be happy. I knit 4 pairs of socks for the whole Müller family, probably for me, my husband, and my parents-in-law, and we'll all be happy. My mom is busy, and I have gift knit socks, whatever. My mom still knits like so fast. Then I'm going to the fun stuff, because with the whole tits out, of course I misbehaved. I spent more than I should have, but it was for a good cause. I don't know if you saw the end result of Countess Ablaze, and she did the whole counting, and it is amazing. Together, all the 287 participants raised over 62,000 euros, or I believe it was 59,000 pounds and 93 Canadian and 71,000 US dollars. It is ridiculous, that amount, and I'm so happy to have been a part of it. I myself made €136.50 for the Breiboezem, so the Dutch Knitted Knockers Foundation, and I'm really grateful for everyone who bought yarn from me. Then let's show you what I bought in this very pretty paper. I saved it. It is from Spindles and Stitches Rolags, probably rolls because they don't look really fluffy, but I didn't take it out yet. And of course, if I want exposure, I'll get my tits out. And maybe my bits, if it's not too cold. Well, it's definitely not too cold. And there was also a little extra for Fox's sake. Merino Shetland. This is 23 micron merino, 100% and 100 grams. Yeah, I really got caught by the spinning bug again. So I saw this one, this beautiful yarn from Das Mondschaf on her Aurora base, and this is the If I Want Exposure, I'll Get My Tits Out, the Captain Janeway version, which I really couldn't leave behind because my husband is a big Trekkie fan. well, not a real Trekkie, but he loves that series. And he's really excited that Jean-Luc Picard is coming back. And so am I, because that and Captain Janeway are my favorites. And so I couldn't leave this one. But Das Mondschaf also has wonderful spinning fiber. And since I do not own a lot of merino nylon blend for socks, so I could use the fiber for socks, I bought these two merino nylon blends when I saw them and fell in love with them. So, really, really pretty. Then another tits I wanted because of the name. If I want exposure, I'll get my tits out while riding my unicorn. And it smells like unicorn. And this is by Hannah Made It. All the way from the US. This is her Glam Lamb, a 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% stellina. You can see that sparkle, I think. It's really, really pretty, and it's actually pretty soft. I do hope that stellina is soft too, because I have knit with a yarn that had this kind of stellina in it. You can see that curl. Focus. That little bit of stellina there sticking out, and it was a bit tough on the hands, but we'll see. Maybe this one is different. And then there's more. I showed you I was a bad girl, so yeah, you already saw this one, Shawl needles. That's also an acquisition. And then there's a lot more fiber. This is from the same shop, but there were only two that fit in this bag. This is from Regenbogenwolle, also in Germany. I'm sorry for the noise. This is Pride. So if I want exposure, I'll get my tits out the Pride version. And there is her label. Hope you can see that. It's not too dark. Oh my, I'm getting sweaty handling all this fiber. And this is the Fortitude. It looks a bit more yellow on screen than it is in real life. It has a bit more green here. So, and the fiber content I was really interested in because it has Polworth and also fake cashmere and mulberry silk. So 60% wool, 20% nylon and 20% silk. Sounds like something you could even knit socks with. Polworth has a really long staple, I think, so I wanted to try that fiber for a really long time. Fake cashmere I just spun with, and if you blend it well, it's great. And silk is of course always nice. And I also went for this one because I really fell in love with that color. It's called Tropical Island, and this is a different fiber content. It is Optime Merino, so it's a 12.5% micron, which is like ridiculously soft. Then you add cashmere, which is like even softer, and then there's also Tussa silk, so I'm really interested. This is definitely not sock worthy. This is something for a cowl or maybe a hat. So this is face squishy worthy and really lovely. So yeah, I guess this episode's gonna be called I got my tits in instead of I got my tits out. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's one on the way. I may have overdone it a little bit, but at least I supported a good cause, right? Now I counted all, and the patterns with it, I'm over 10 purchases. So yeah, no wonder we got that high amount. Then oh, before I forget it, of course, my friend Monique, her shop Frog Peak Creations has a coupon code still, 15% off with Colourful 15. I know in Canada they have a ridiculous heat wave just like here, so I think it's almost the whole world that's ridiculously hot. And I'm sweating like a pig here, I'm sorry. I don't know where I got the idea that it was smart to do a podcast at this moment. Well, I did know, because then I don't have to work hard this afternoon. I only have to edit the podcast. But frankly, at 11 o'clock we were already over 30 degrees. It is insane today. So, coupon code, didn't forget it. And then I will go with some shop news. I will be closing my shop, or putting it on vacation mode on Etsy on Sunday the 12th of August. So this Sunday, because I need to do some stock keeping for Das Bunte Schaf, and I have to have time to order stuff and not have it sell out the day before Das Bunte Schaf again. Also, I wanted to show you what I've been dyeing. I did a full week of dyeing No Rainbows Without Rain. So if anyone wants some, come to Das Bunte Schaf, because I have like 50 skeins of this on 3 different bases, so you can combine it with other yarn for cool projects, etc, etc. No Rainbows Without Rain is back, and I will dye No Rainbows Without Rain for the shop again too, but probably after Cardiff. I have to see how much yarn I've left after Das Bunte Schaf, and then I have like 4 weeks to dye for Cardiff again what I need, and then after Cardiff I have time to do inventory for the shop. What do I have left and what can I dye for you guys? Now it's Bing's hungry. Then what? I'm looking at my show notes. I have very good show notes today. I have done something new. Instagram has a new feature where you can ask questions in the stories. So I did yesterday with, I'm planning to record a podcast tomorrow. Do you guys have any questions? I got 2 questions in, which is really awesome. And I hope I will think of it to do it next time again for anyone who's watching now and thinks, oh, but I have questions too. You can always ask your questions in the Ravelry group. That's the place where I'm most likely to see and remember it, because comments of different episodes all come in random order, or in the order, chronological order more, and not per episode. So then I don't remember that I have to check that. I do check Ravelry very, very often. Oh, for those of you in heatwave, hydrate, people. I think I am about 3 liters a day at the moment, which is twice as much as usual. And I do not have any trouble drinking enough. Very weird, but this jug is perfect for it. I drink so much more when I use this one. Somehow I like this better than just a usual glass. And it's bigger, so more in it. So first question I got in was from Mara, and she asked for my 3 top tips for knitting and yarn related things. First one actually started me knitting, which is don't knit socks on loop ends, just do it 2 at a time, toe up, and on a circular needle. And that's what started me knitting. That's where this whole crazy journey began, and that's why we're here. Second tip I got, higher sharp circulars. I'm a really tight knitter, and you know those cheapy needles, they all have blunt tips. And I couldn't get my needle in there. I also broke bamboo needles that I used, the bamboo DPNs. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then someone, actually the same someone who got me knitting 2 at a time toe-up socks, got me 2 Haya circulars, and just perfect. I really love the sharp ones. I do get it that you can poke a hole in your finger. I also did, but I switched my way of knitting. I don't push the needle that often anymore. If I do, I can feel it, but yeah, that's fine. So those are 2 tips that I got. And the third one, I'm still contemplating. I've been thinking about this since yesterday, and I'm actually not really sure about that one. Maybe it is not really a tip I got, but one I experienced myself. When you are blocking, some patterns and suggestions are you leave it to soak for 30 minutes and then you check again. Don't. Just don't. Stay with it, look at it. If it's bleeding, 1 minute is more than enough. If you have it wet, it will block. You don't have to leave that dye going all through the bath and ruin your knitting. And yeah, that's my top tip. I block it really short, if I even block it. My yarn is hand dyed, it can bleed. That happens in the first few washes. It's just because you work the yarn, the dye that is in there, that I can't wash out because, well, I do this a lot and manhandle the yarn a lot. But still, not everything comes out in the first few washes that I do. So if you use it, you open up the fiber and then there's more space for the dye to move, especially when you make it wet. And yeah, that's why the first few washes, while wearing it, while knitting it, then the rest comes out. So that's why you always have to be careful with washing your hand knits and bleeding. Also with commercial yarn, by the way, because I have commercial yarn that bleeds like a bleeding motherfucker. Then I also got a question from Rinske, and she asked me for my favorite base for sweaters and cardigans. Well, not sure how long you follow me, but I have only knit 1 cardigan and 1 sweater and 1 top. The top is a lace top because it's summer, and the cardigan is fingering and the sweater is fingering. So my favorite base, or at least my favorite kind of yarn, is fingering. But that's just because I have never knit with a thicker yarn. I am very into nice stitch definition, detailing, etc. I like to work small on a lot of things I work with. I did some 3D card making as a kid, and then it was also, the details were like millimeter big and you had to put glue between it. It was crazy. My beads are small and detailed, and I think that's why I really like thinner needles and knitting with fingering and lace. Lace is new. After that top, I really like fingering, and I already have a cardigan planned in lace. But for sweaters, I must say it's fingering, and I do love my Sunset Highway sweater in Colourful Soft Sock. It's nice and plump, soft fingering yarn. I am actually planning for this winter to have a Colourful soft decay. And I'm also planning to knit a cardigan first with that, because of course I have to test it. So, yeah, that is something that is coming, and I hope you like that. I am expanding to thicker yarns. I really love fingering weight yarns, so that's what I started to sell, and I think at the moment I only have fingering yarns. I don't really feel like knitting with a chunky yarn at the moment, so the thick yarn that I have is on the back burner for winter. There's really thick yarn coming, really chunky, and that you could use that for a sweater, I think. But because I'm already big, I don't like to use a big yarn for myself for a sweater, because then I'm even bigger. And I like it when it's small and detailed, so it balances my size, I think. That's what I learned. I'm not the person to wear huge ass statement necklaces. I'm more the kind that wears a really small little thing. And yeah, I hope that makes sense. So maybe that is why I like fingering weight. Maybe DK isn't that bad, and maybe worsted would also be okay if it's a nice rounded twisted yarn. So I hope that answers your questions, and if you guys like me answering your questions, just let me know in the Ravelry group below the podcast episode, or in the YouTube comments if that's what is better for you guys. And I guess with that we're already through. I don't see anything else. Nope. Binks is looking at me. You want to say bye-bye? Yes, he wants to. So we're gonna say bye-bye. Bye-bye is on that side. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.